Okay, this is going to be over 1010 section A2, which deals with fasteners. Okay, now when we think of fasteners, what's the first thing you think of? Screws, nuts, bolts, that kind of stuff. We don't leave out things like duct tape. This is a small version of some of the ties that you'll see out there. Staples, all those are fasteners. But I want to go through some things in particular because there's always been some confusion out there in the world. Okay? This is Unit 10. Unit 10. Okay, we don't deal with a lot of so-called bolts and nuts, but we do from time to time. We deal more in this industry with sheet metal screws or those types of things, sometimes anchors, but I like to cover a little bit about bolts and nuts. First of all, you have machine screws, which we do see a lot of, especially on some of the equipment and all. Machine screws are the smaller of the bolts and nuts, if you will. They do have a certain amount of threads and certain diameters and things such as that. And you'll find out that you'll see terms used like number 6, number 10, number 12, and then you'll jump into the nominal numbers such as 1/4 inch, 5/16. Well, there's two types of basic threads for the American standards. That is going to be the coarse threads and the fine threads. NEC, oh, excuse me, not NEC, I get that, oh, I'm getting on something else. National coarse and national fine. Okay, if you have one that you're not sure about, they do have a thread gauge that you can use. I'm going to pass this around. You can see how it actually has the parts on there that you can line up with the threads and see what threads that is. Okay, per inch. Now, some of this is going to be repeated when we get into piping because bolts and nuts are somewhat similar to pipes, which have internal and external threads. You have a tap, which is right here. The tap is used to put internal threads. You have a die, part right there, which is used to make external threads. Now, in this set I have some other odds and ends too. If you see something that looks like that, that's called an easy out. Okay, it's made to be able to remove a bolt or a stud, actually a stud or a bolt that has been broken off. Now, when I hear something's been broke off like that, I go to sweat, because once it gets down inside of that unit, it's usually not a simple thing just to screw it back out. One fact that most people don't understand is that bolts, when you tighten them up, they stretch. That's what keeps them tight. So if it's already been stretched, even though it may break off, what's remaining in there is still under tension. It's not just going to come back out. So you have to either drill it out and use one of these or some other means. I have got some left-handed drill bits that I've had more success with than anything at all. But you don't go down to the hardware store and pick them up just like that, okay? All right, sheet metal screws. Now, sheet metal screws come in different styles, no doubt. You're going to have some that's going to have hex head, some that's slotted head, Phillips head, Allen head. So they're going to use different types of wrenches to install. We usually think of sheet metal screws as something that we're going to be using a drill with. And that is, in many cases, correct. But keep in mind that the sheet metal screws do come into different configurations, where some actually are self-drilling, some are self-tapping, and that some are just pointed. Some are made to go back into a place that already has a hole. So just because it's a sheet metal screw doesn't mean that it's going to fit every application, okay? One of the problems that I have run into, and I see a lot of this time, this day and time is the use of battery operated drills to remove and install panels. Now that sounds like a crazy complaint, but a lot of the screws are not made to tighten to the point where most drills take them that way. In other words, a lot of these drills nowadays have so much torque on them, if you stay on it, it's going to strip it out. And if you think about what's holding the sheet metal screw in, it's not a whole lot. So if you ever strip it out, now you got a problem with the panel that's going to come loose. It's just a matter of time. And that adds to rattle and noise, and in many cases, I have seen panels, especially on rooftops, that wind can blow off. And believe you me, it's not just the fact that they get stripped out, it's also the fact that some people don't know how to put one screw back in a panel even though it's made for 10. And I don't know if y'all ever run across, y'all wouldn't do that. Okay. All right. Wood and sheetrock screws, occasionally we have to do a little work on around wood and what we call drywall. One of the craziest things in the world is to see a thermostat that's about to fall off of the wall, and you get to looking, and what's happened is someone has used the wrong kind of fasteners to install it. So go, use the right component for the right job. Occasionally we have to do a little bit of construction work. There's nails out there. If you're not familiar with the different nail sizes, they come in what they call weights, I believe is what they actually call them, the penny sizes. And a good carpenter will tell you what that's all about in a heartbeat. But that's one thing about this field. We have to know a little bit about a lot of things. It's good to know a lot of things about a lot of things, but not everybody can do that. And we don't all get exposed to that kind of stuff, but we need to know a little bit about a lot of things. Cement nails, concrete anchors. I don't see too many people using cement nails anymore, but as far as the concrete anchors, that's a big thing, especially when you're on commercial or a mounting. Sometimes you need to mount things on a masonry wall, and there are bits designed to drill through those and anchors that work quite well nowadays. Keep in mind when you're mounting something, whether it's going to have a vertical load or a horizontal load. Now, different fasteners need to be considered. If you have one, for example, in a ceiling, it's going to have a load on it that's going to be pulling it out. When you have that problem, if you don't use the right fastener, you take a chance of it falling off and hitting somebody in the head or actually destroying whatever it's holding up. All right, staples. If you do any installation work or repair, you'll definitely see staples, especially for insulation. Some ductboard is going to consider, you'll consider using staples there. Some of the way the staples work, when we usually think of staples, we think of a staple that is going to go in like so. Some of the insulation staples will actually, when they're shot in, they're actually going to turn back out so that it holds the two pieces of insulation together. Another thing, and I think we always have a little fun with this, is duct tape. Duct tape, and what's the other most important part of the world or material? Baling wire, right? That fixes anything, right? Okay. Well, there's places for that. There's no doubt places for it. But if you've got a dirty surface and you're putting duct tape on it, you're wasting the time. That's all you're doing. It's got to be clean. One of the changes that has come into the industry in the last few years, and I'm really glad to see it, is the use of adhesives. Now, the losses through the duct system are, in most cases, at least 10% when the ducts haven't been sealed up with some type of mastic or adhesive. Now, that sounds a little extreme, but I'm being on the low side percentage-wise. The leaks through the duct system, especially when the duct system is not in the conditioned space, can be quite costly. I don't care how much insulation you got on it, that insulation's not going to keep the air from moving through it, okay? So the use of mastic and adhesives is very important nowadays, especially with some of the new codes that's come out. All right. Last but not least is the straps, the draw bands. That's used a lot with the flex duct and installation of the flex duct. Don't play around with that stuff. Now, you think, what's he talking about? Now, I don't have the big one, but if you got one of these and it's big enough to go around somebody's neck, don't do it. There's been a case where a little horseplay turned into a tragedy. You know how sometimes we kid around with one another, hey, put this around your neck and tighten it up. Well, that happened. And guy couldn't get it loose, he died. Just by draw band strap. You know, that's kind of a ridiculous death right there, isn't it? Mm-hmm. But it was horseplay, got a little too far. Okay, anything else that you can think of that comes to mind about Fasteners? All right, that ought to sum this one up.